The new game mode, Fame Quest, is approaching us really quick and should drop rather soon in a global version of Konosuba Fantastic Days. So I thought, you know what, let's talk about it, let's explain a bit, so that you guys know what's coming ahead of you and what you should do with it and what's even doing it. I'm Katsuma Gaming, let's get right to this. As the base for this, I actually take the news that I wrote back then for the JP version, where I tried to explain it. So if you don't want to listen to myself, maybe join the unofficial Discord to read it up there, or just skip forward in the video so you can see all the text, because I will scrolling through everything, then you can just self-read it if you want to. After that, I'm also going to switch to the game to show it off there in the JP version and doing like one run just to show it off and you guys see what's going on there. So the big thing with Fame Quest is that it's kind of a hard content, not like too much, but like at the beginning it could be a little bit more challenging on the side, and it is buffing your units. So by challenging the Fame Quest, you can level up your Fame rank by clearing the key quests of your current rank. So there will be different rankings, they will change the drop rate for specific stuff. I'm going to show it off later. And yeah, keep in mind that if you unlocked a stage or cleared a quest with the key on it, you need to go back and then you should unlock the next difficulty. Don't be like me back in the JP version where you defeat the last stage, be like, nothing pops up, maybe I just need to grind it more, maybe I need to play more, I don't know. And then just later you go back and realize, oh, now I unlock the next stage. Whoops, that was kind of a whoopsie. You can unlock the key quest by clearing all the other stages of your current rank. So do all the stages, defeat the key stage, then you unlock the next rank, and then you can just go back to the next difficulty and rinse and repeat. When your Fame rank goes up, you can upgrade your assists in terms of stat and special moves. I'm going to show it off later. The higher your Fame quest rank, the more stuff unlocks. Rarer material can drop tables for rarer passives increase, I'll talk about it as well, and craft rarer assists. Right now at the beginning you can increase your Fame rank up to level 4. Rank 5 and higher will be added later on. So yes, there will be more ranks, this will change some stuff, again I will talk about it later when we actually go to the game. Boss assists can be crafted with the materials dropped in Fame Quest. Yes, we will get a lot of new assists, most of them are actually really good, and even a new feature with assists, which is also really cool. For each quest, rewards will change depending on the numbers of stars you earn, so there will also be stars, and of course you want to get a 3-star clear on everyone. Each quest has a specific strength level that your party has to meet before you are able to challenge it. So yes, you need a powerful enough team to have the minimum required strength so you can actually challenge the stage. Otherwise you simply can't do that. But thankfully with Fame Quest you can actually increase the stats of your units to have a stronger team to then try it again, stuff like that. So again, more on that later when we actually use it in game. You are able to change the number of times you challenge a quest up to 3 runs. This is something that hopefully also should mean that we will get 3 times attempts on bosses, so you can just, like right now we can do up to 3 times on bosses to clear them, but with that we hopefully should be able to get 6 clears on a boss, hopefully coping. But yeah, you can do up to 3 runs once per battle you do. When you clear a stage, there's a chance to get a Fame bonus that increases the member stats or gain special traits. Bonuses will be only given to the front 3 units or not to the back units. So you can train up to 3 units at once. A random selection of 3 Fame bonuses will be presented to you when you get a Fame bonus. Choose the one you want. So, as I said before, you will be able to increase the stats of your units with this Fame quest. And there are 5 different stats, I think: HP, physical attack, physical defense, and magical defense. And you want to grind your unit depending on what it needs. So for example, for a physical unit, you preferably go with physical attack and maybe some defense or HP. For a hybrid unit, maybe you go for physical and magical attack. For magical units, you probably want to go with magical attack. Like, this is, by the way, a rule that you probably should follow. Always, pretty much always, push the attacking stat of your unit, and the last stats you can push either in defense if you prepare for a special arena, or if you want to have the safer route, just go with HP, because HP works for physical and magical enemies, so you are on the safe side. But keep in mind, if the enemy boss does a lot of damage, it might actually be a good idea to regrind your units so they have, for example, physical defense to just survive a little bit longer. This can be a valid strat to actually boost your performance in arena. You can earn fame passive traits when you get a fame bonus. These are like passive traits that grant a stat bonus if certain conditions are fulfilled in battle. I'll talk about it later because we're going over all the possible passive traits that are. There's an upper limit for each stat that can be increased. Increase this upper limit by challenging missions on higher fame ranks. So yeah, there is a limit on how much stat boost you can do. I think at the beginning you can do like on a max fame quest rank up to 30 points in stats increase, but like only 20 points in one stat. So you can boost like physical attack by 20 points and then, for example, HP by 10 points. You can't go higher than 20 points in one single stat, but of course you can also just go with like 10 points in 3 different stats if that's something you want to do. A current max fame rank, you can push a total of 30 stats, maximum 20 in the same stat. You can also only have up to 25 passive skills, passive traits, whatever you want to call it. Like the names are a little bit funky, I'm sorry, but it should all clean up later. Once you hit the limit and select a new passive stat, you can choose which stat you want to lower in exchange, which passive you want to throw away. So again, if you are a max and then you're like, oh, but I want, for example, more physical defense, and you select that, you have then the option to be like, okay, I want to remove one physical attack point, 1 HP point for that, whatever, and as long as you end up with the maximum of 30 points, you can then select OK, and it will change to that. There are different rarities from passive traits. The higher fame rank you are, the higher the chance of getting rarer fame traits that boost the stats even higher. There are also special fame passive traits for each character. Increase your fame rank to increase the chance of obtaining them. Correct, the special passive traits will be slowly added in the future. Right now, Kazuma, Aqua, and Darkness passives are viable. No Megumi, no others, just those 3 will have special passive traits. Of course, all units can get normal passive traits, but only the special characters can get the special character passive trait. You can now add fame passive traits to member in the build party menu. Earn these fame passive traits from completing fame quests. You can strengthen memory units with fame bonus. Here's a big quote, by the way, which is really important. This is not for the whole character, this is for your member. So for example, if we take Kazuma, we have the OG Kazuma, we have Ninja Kazuma, we have Fast Kazuma, we have Singer Kazuma. Each of these are separate members. So both the stats and the fame passive traits that you've grinded for one of these units will only be available for that unit. So yes, if you use 4 different Kazumas, you need to grind all 4 different Kazumas. And they share nothing in between, which means this will be grindy. I think it's fair to say that this will be a little bit grindy. These stats are for now Fame Quest exclusive. On a later point, the 25th is the JP date of course, all characters will get 25% of the stats in all other content. And this will include sub-units. I'm not sure if sub-units will count directly at the beginning, I don't think they did in JP, but later point even sub-units will count, so it's recommended to not only grind your main units but also your sub-units, so even more grind. Okay, let's continue with the 3 special passive traits. Kazuma's is kinda useless. The first snipe he will do in a battle will be a guaranteed crit, which is on theory nice, but the problem is you need to get 3 snipes in, which only I think 2 Kazumas out there are worth doing that. At the same time, there are other passive traits that are probably just straight up better, since keep in mind his ulti is neutral damage if you use snipe, and a crit there is nice, don't get me wrong, but like crits on other skills are probably more important. Darknesses and Aquas though are a little bit more special and actually pretty good. So for Darkness is if a member gets attacked, there is a chance that she tanks their attack for the enemy. This triggers randomly, you have no control over it, but it triggers pretty frequently, I would say. So for arenas where you use Darkness and there's not a unit that you probably don't want to get hit that often, this trait actually works really well because, you know, Darkness loves to get hit, more gauge up for her and stuff like that. This actually is a pretty good thing to have for squishy team members. Now we come to Aquas, which is probably the strongest out of all of them. And like, this is highly recommended for every Aqua unit in the future to get that, because it's just that good. Randomly trigger a small attack damage buff for 6 seconds for the whole party except Aqua herself after attacking. So again, this is, I think, like 10 damage % increase or something like that for your whole team besides Aqua, so the 2 other units, for 6 seconds. The only sad part about this is, again, this is random, so you can't have a run where it like triggers 0 times, you can't have a run where it triggers like 10 times and you just have to buff up the whole time. There can be a lot of RNG with it, but like a 10% damage increase for your other party members, which are most of the time the more damaging units anyway, is really good. And a part that this is a separate buff and can coexist with the other fame passive buffs is just amazing, because this allows you to actually have 2 passive buffs. You know, the more you have, the more damage increase. It's really good. Then we have the auto traits, and here's the thing: there are 4 different types. We have these ones with a sword, then we have ones with a shield, one with a heart, and one with a target. Not only that, we also have smaller icons in the bottom called wave, back, and a circle. What does all of this mean? So again, we have the 4 main types, which are sword, which means you will increase the damage of a unit, counts for both physical and magical attack. Shield will give you more defense, so damage cut. The heart probably means heal, so yes, you can heal with that. And target means that you can attract the enemies to hit you, aka Darkness Ulti 1 version 2, where she gets target thing that the enemy is more likely to hit her. And each of these 3 types will have one subcategory at the bottom right, which I saw before: wave, back, and circle. Wave means this buff will activate on the final wave. Back means this buff will activate if a unit from the back, so slot 4 and 5, enters the battle. This won't trigger for the foreign units at all, so it's not useful there. And then we have the circle. The circle means the buff will trigger every X actions. And here's the thing, for wave and back, the rarity will increase the duration, and for circle, it will lower the required actions for it to trigger. What does this actually mean? So for example, if you have a unit that you want to have in the front that probably dies after like a few seconds, so for example a Megumin who uses an explosion, going with the wave target is probably like a good idea with the wave buff and the sword. So that way you increase your damage for explosion. You only need it for like the first 1 or 2 skills, which is the duration you should have normally on a gold rarity there. Allows you to, you know, get your boosted explosion off and be done. Then for example your slot 4 unit can come in, which has for example the back buff, so it will instantly be boosted and allows you to do more damage. Generally speaking though, it is recommended to grind for a golden sword circle, because as I said before, with a wave buff you will be able to get, I think, 3 turns in that get increased damage. And there's like a little bit of a problem here, because normally on a final wave, either your first round will, for example, be an ultimate, or worst case even just a basic into then ultimate, so you get at max like 1 or 2 boosted skills in, if they are even ready, and then your whole buff is gone. Meanwhile, the circle will trigger every X actions. You probably also will get only like 3 triggers in of that, but you can time it probably with whatever you want. So for example, you can trigger it with your ultimate to increase your ulti damage by 20%. Yes, this means the skill that you use will get a 20% damage increase, which is really good, especially for like guaranteed ulti crits and stuff like that. That just having increase is like amazing. And just generally speaking, this is like probably the best thing you can have, because again, you can control when you trigger it by, for example, just using a basic before your skill, so it's on a turn 5, on a turn that trigger it or something like that. You have the control, that's why it's really good. Next thing, the Craftable Assist. So as you can see in this screenshot alone, There are a lot of new assists, and yes, even the Winter Shogun will be a new assist, which is really, really cool because, you know, who can say he has Winter Shogun as his assist? So there are 3 new types of assists. We have the monster assist, where you can get them from actually beating them in the Fang quest. Then we have rocks, and we have scrolls. First up, let's talk about the units real quick. We have the Rookie Killer, or Beginner's Bane, whatever you want to call him. He deals a small non-elemental damage to all enemies when you activate him. The more HP the front member has, well, that using this assist, the more damage it will do, and it ignores the defense of the enemy. Passively, it has a chance to inflict 800 non-elemental damage with a 30% chance when you attack. So, pretty much just damage. But it's neutral damage, so it's not like the most crazy part, but it's, you know, something. Then we have the giant toad or frog or gecko, which is a really interesting assist. The active skill is stops the waiting time / a special gauge of an enemy for 5 seconds. So I'm not sure because I never used him, I think. So either it just like freezes the enemy for like 5 seconds both turns, or it just means that you won't get any gauge up while waiting or being hit, something like that. Again, on theory, a niche cool idea. Use case is less good. Passive trait though is 3% damage increase, and I'll talk about what the passive skill actually means at the end. Then we have the Winter Shogun. Active skill is also extraordinary non-elemental damage to one enemy, so there's a single target. The higher the attack of the front member when using this assist is, the higher the damage will be. It also ignores the defense of the enemy. And the passive skill is increase the attack by 2% when you attack physical attacks, and up to 5% if you have some kind of defense bonus. Now we get to the elemental rocks. The thing with the rocks and the scrolls are that they are all rather similar, and they have like 2 or 3 different kind of buffs that are split between the different enemies. The active skill is all the same. It just deals 1 damage to one enemy with the respective elements. So for example, fire rock will deal fire damage, and the more HP the front member has when using assist, the higher the damage is. So it's also just a small damage increase, nothing too crazy. But the passive skills here are really interesting. So for example, fire increases the attack power by 3% and up to 9% if your HP is 50% or less. The next one, water, increases the water attack by 3% and 7% when HP is 70% or higher when attacking with water attribute attacks. Like you can see, most of them actually just boost your elemental damage by normal amount, 3%, with some kind of condition. There are a little bit weird ones, like the wind one increased attack power with 30% when activating all wind attribute attack skills. I need to wait for the English translation. I'm still not 100% sure what it does because I never use it, like ever. Lightning one is kind of cope as well, 25% to deal 800 lightning damage. Again, 800 damage on top of that is not bad, but then again you have a 25% chance, so having a reliable assist here actually works better. Earth is the same as wind, light is the same as lightning, and dark is the same as water. And the same thing is kind of true for the scrolls. They also deal damage to the enemy, but this time it's all enemies, so single target versus AoE with the same kind of condition. And we have the same kind of buffs here, but this time fire has the HP with 70% higher effect, water has the when 50% HP or less, wind has the 70% as higher, earth is 70% and higher, dark has an increase when the enemy has debuff, and light has the 50% or less, and lightning also has the debuffing. So the scrolls are most of the time, I think, the better option. Besides for water, then you probably use rock. So just think about what your team probably has more chance, if it's like more likely to have higher HP or lower HP. Depending on that, you choose that. For other stuff, you probably don't have much choice. For example, the lightning, you probably never take the lightning rock, you always take the lightning scroll. And yeah. And here is the point what I said I talk about later. We now have Subception. What that means is all your subs will now have a passive. which is, you know, the passive I talked about before, now you can actually equip a sub to your sub to trigger the bonus effect. So as you, for example, can see, Dodoko and Funifura will boost your magic attack, Jamosuke will boost the fire damage, Ruffian will boost the physical attack, Senai will boost the lightning damage if the enemy has some kind of debuff on them. So yeah, pretty much all the units will have something. Generally speaking though, it's probably still the best to use the rocks and the scrolls as your passives, because they are most of the times the best one. There are a few expectations, like you can use Jamosuke, but then again, like if you can trigger the condition of the rock, I think, or the scroll should be better than Jamosuke. Jamosuke should only be better if you can't trigger the condition all the time. So generally speaking, these are the ones that you should probably focus on. And with that, we are through all of the general part. We are already 20 minutes in. Let's just jump into the game real quick to see how it looks. First up, here we have the actual drop table of the different fame ranks. So you can see right now in JP we actually have 7 ranks. As I said before, there will only be rank 4 at the beginning of when it drops in global. And here you can see the drop rate for each of the passive traits. So if you get a stat drop, you have still only a random chance, I don't know the exact number, to get a passive trait. If you get a passive trait, then these odds kick in. So at the fame rank 1, if you get a passive trait, is to 84%, a bronze one to 50%, a silver one, and to 1% a gold one. On the max fame crest level, you have a 15% chance for a gold one, a 25% chance for a silver one, and a 60% chance for a bronze one. So bronzes are still way more likely, but 15% is way better than just the 1%. So probably try to clear all the stages first before you actually dive deep into the whole grinding part. So yeah, here you can see the different stages, and again, by beating them you will unlock the specific fame quest. So for example, if we just go into the first stage here, we will see we have only 1 chapter, or whatever you want to call it, not sure. And here you have 2 different stages. You will see we have 1 normal stage, and we have the giant toad as our key quest. You first need to defeat the normal stage, and then we can battle the giant toad, and after that we go back, then going back once more because there are no more here's, and we can then go back into the second one. Here we actually have also only 1. Wait, where do we have more? Here do we have more, and here it is. If you defeat, for example, chapter 1 or what you want to call it, you probably also can go to chapter 2 as well, because you can see there's no key quest here. But I think you need to defeat the bosses to go to the next page. But yeah, after you defeat everyone here, you will go to the last chapter where the key quest will be to defeat, and then you can unlock the next part and stuff like that. So this is the general how you do it. Let's whoops, go back to the, for me, highest difficulty, because otherwise it doesn't make sense for me to actually grind this. Quick information here for global players. At the beginning, as it said, you can skip up to 3, you can play up to 3 rounds at once. This will get increased later down the line, as you can see, up to 10 times in JP. And what JP can do is actually skip them. That's not something you can do in global. Then of course we have the different star ratings where you can get different drops. So it's most of the time recommended to actually try to clear with the max stars, because for example, choose a different stage where it's more seeable, I think. It's also a bad one. Yeah, you can see a little bit. So if we clear the stage with 3 stars, we actually have a chance to get the elemental crystal drops for the weapons. On 2 stars we can't get that even, and on 1 star you just have rarer drops, or like not as high of materials. For example, with bosses, you can see there are also 3 different type of materials, the silver, gold and rainbow ones, and normally the more stars you clear, the more likely you have to get the rare drops. Meanwhile, the lower stars you clear, the more likely you have to get the lower rarity drops. Talking about that, we can go here to the assist crafting table to just show it off real quick. You can see, for example, for a giant toad you need 50 of the silver shard to craft them. 30 of the other materials, 25 of the last material. There are also different types, for example, red, green, yellow, blue and stuff like that. So you will need all the materials, but you can see over time you get more than enough to actually make them. And after you have them crafted, you can of course upgrade them. The materials will change over time. Normal assist still use the normal stuff, but these one will use different stuff. Not sure if I can show it off, but I can apparently, because I already crafted them. But yeah, I think like for stage 1, 2, 3 to upgrade, you just need like the bronze and the silver, the gold drops. Only for like level 4 or 5 you actually need the rainbow drops, and it can happen that in the beginning that you have bosses where you can only get like 2 lower rarity drops, for example the frog, the giant toad, and only with future thing quests you actually get the materials to craft it to its full potential. But yeah, let's go in here and let's use 20 stamina real quick so we can actually do a full 10 run. You can go into the battle chest right now and play. And again, in global you need to manual play, there's no way to skip it. Quick info here, some stages will have special effects, which are mostly of course negative for you. For example, like every free turn you will get hit by a lightning strike and take additional damage or stuff like that, which is makes it a little bit harder, let's say that way. It's not unfair, but it's harder. There are though some stages that are really annoying. I remember one stage where like a wave where pretty much anyone can blind you, so have fun killing the enemies if you are perma blinded. there are a few ones that are like a little bit scuffed, but again, after you defeat it a few times and you get the stats, you should have an easier time. So yeah, let's go quickly to the battle here, then we can see the new menu. Again, first up, let's go to the assist. You can see currently on this assist I have Sena as sub assist, which is probably not the best, but for example, let's say we have a fire team, and our fire team should hopefully stay above 70% HP, and that way we should probably, for example, choose the scroll to give us a little bit more physical attack, or a little bit less attack stats, but the better passive trait, they will increase our fire damage by hopefully up to 7% all the time. Again, with level 5, the stats will increase a little bit from the passive trait, otherwise, you know, just the normal stats will increase. Yeah, this is the first thing you can do to increase your team power a little bit. And second of all, here are the fame traits that I talked about. You can see NJP, I pretty much almost only have gold with how much I grinded this stuff. It's kind of ridiculous, huh? And here's one more RNG part that is kind of annoying. You can see below the icons there's a field with Japanese text you probably can't read and a number with that. And here's the thing, each passive trait can give you one of the 5 stats that you normally can increase your character with. So for example, you can see here there's a wave target that gives you 280 HP. Then we have the top left target that gives you 30 physical defense. Right next to it, 60 magical attack. Right after that, 24 physical attack. And you see the numbers are not the same most of the time. So yeah, there are a few different stats you can get. And then of course also RNG what kind of stat you get. So for example, this is Cesta, he's a mage unit. You want to have magical attack on him because the more attack, the higher you damage it. So for example, this wave trait here that gives you 26 magical attack is really good on him. But of course, I want a gold turn on him, so I preferably have a gold turn that gives him magical attack. I actually have one here currently equipped that gives me 18 magical attack, but you can see 18 is way lower than the 26. The highest you can get is actually 32 points in the stats or 320 HP. And after that, everything can be lower up to I think 14 or 16, like you can see a 16 here, or just no stat in general. So if you in theory want to have the max potential of your unit, you would need to first get a gold drop. It then needs to be a circle hopefully, then it needs to be the right stat, in that case physical or magical attack, and then you hopefully also roll high there to get like 30 or 32 of that. Of course, grinding that is a pain. and I don't recommend actually trying too hard to go for the proper stat. If you have tons of stamina left and you are motivated to grind for that, sure, have fun with it, but normally the moment you get one gold trait, you are good to go. You can use it in arena. It will of course be a little bit less damage than if you have the perfect one, but it's not like too crazy. 1 or 2 crits can make way up for that, but yeah, in theory that's the best you actually want to do. So here at once, for example, for Aqua, we of course have Aqua's passive trait here that can trigger. And you know what, since we actually no, sorry, I don't want to waste my stamina for that. I'm just going to use this here what I'm currently grinding. These units have something already, but not the one thing that I want, so I'm just going to skip it here real quick to better show off the result screen. So hopefully, yeah, there you see stuff pops up on the top. You see green and gold bars popping up, and with that, for example, Union got a green bar, so this is just a pure stat increase. You can see currently my Union has 2000 bonus HP and plus 500 magical attack. Again, we have higher ranks, so we can push up to 45 stats and push more into one stat than before. This will of course be lower in global, but eventually stuff will increase, and yes, this means you need to grind units again. And here Union actually got normal stat drop, so she can choose between 20 physical attack, 20 magical attack, and 20 defense. If I, for example, be like, oh yeah, my Union needs some physical attack, I could select that here, press OK, and now you will see the prompt screen. It's like, okay, you currently have 46 stats equipped, but you can only have 5, so I need to remove 1. In that case, for example, yeah, my Union doesn't need physical attack, so just going to remove that and be done. Leah, on the other hand, got one of the gold drops. In that case, she actually got a silver drop, so gold means she got a passive trait. In that case, I got lucky and I got a silver one. And here you can see this a back start one, so this will activate when your unit comes in from the back for, I don't know, can I see it actually? 10 seconds. This will be active for 10 seconds after your unit comes in. So 2, maybe if you get lucky, 3 skills in. That's the max you can get out of it. And this has no stats. Here we have another silver drop actually. This is a back shielded one, so this will increase the resistance when your unit comes in from the back, and this will also give you 13 physical attack, so rather low roll. And again, the lower rarity your drops are, the lower the stats it can give are. So only the 32 is for the gold ones. For silver and bronze, I don't even think you can get up to 32. So yeah, don't even try that for that. And the last one was also some bonus stats. So for example, for Leah, getting HP and physical attack is probably really good, but since I'm already maxed out, I'm just going to skip her. And last one is Aqua, also maxed, no passive trait that I want, so I'm just skipping. And yeah, you saw out of the 200 stamina that I used here, I sadly didn't get anything out. Now let's actually head into a battle real quick and see how it goes. Probably should select, yeah, let's select him. So he's one of the rare stages that actually don't have any element, so hopefully a hyper team like my current one could work there. Where is it? There it is. Let me select some passive traits here real quick. HP on Union with a gold turn, why not? Leah also has a gold turn with HP, so let's grab that as well. And let's go into a battle to see how it looks like. Yes, I know this video is already over 30 minutes. I'm sorry, but FanQuest has a lot of stuff in there. So you can see we have one wave here with enemies, and here at the top left you can actually see the different effects that exist in the current stage. So we will have lower physical defense, we have lower magical defense, and we have thundercloud, so this means randomly we can get hit from lightning storms. Let's slow down a little bit here. Here, by the way, this is Aqua's passive trait that just activated. You will see the new icons on top of the units. This means their attack will increase, and also you can see the circle on top of Union Leah. You can see her attack, it goes down by 1, so when it hits 0, this attack will be boosted. And you also just saw, by the way, on Leah, the purple number, this was the lightning strike hit her to lower the damage. Don't we know if we can do this here. Might not have been the best team to use. You should also just kill the smaller ones here first. Yeah, that was lightning strike again. That just finished her off. Unlucky. Can still do it. Okay, we survived. A little bit of heal. Like, you see my units are fully grinded and we still, you know, kind of get destroyed here. Yeah, you can see these battles are hard. They're like not that easy, and I just lost. Just like that, easy lost. Yeah, these battles are hard. The special effects are also kind of annoying sometimes. Try this again. This time we play a little bit smarter here. Maybe that helps us.
Konosuba.
Increase areas here to get an instant action ready. And some passive trait proc. Use that skill. Use that skill. Auto for the AoE skill. Rip Union. That should be fine. Now we have the small ops gun, so hopefully this should be safe for another lightning strike there. Another one there, another one there. We almost get 3 low here. The boss is low, so Aqua should maybe get her ulti in. Hawk. That's really helpful, even though she faints. Oh, never mind. We might just lose again. Go, Wes. Go! Might be GG. Yeah, this is GG. Oh god, this stuff is hard without a proper team. Like, this is actually one of the harder bosses, so yeah. I think this was enough. You should potentially see all the stuff in here, like the passive traits, what they're doing, like the increase one, the gold one tracking down, the passive effects on the battles, everything like that. And yeah, TLDR here at the end. Defeat the stages to get higher Fanquest rank. The higher your Fanquest rank is, the better stats you should get, and the higher you can actually increase your stats. The better passive traits you can get, the better assists you can get. Craft them, play it out. If you have any question, ask me in the comments down below. Good luck with your grind there, and see you all in the next one. Bye bye.